Good evening, folks. It's Brad Mines, your host of the Having Report. We're on episode 3. I'm going to talk to you about a post Joe Rogan just made about his carnivore diet update, that he lost 12 pounds. He feels amazing. Lots of aches and pains went away. He has improvements in his vitiligo. And he's not sure if he's going to keep eating this way, but this month is very beneficial. But he also puts a disclaimer there that the first 2 weeks he had explosive uber diarrhea. His words, not mine. So I would take his entire post there with a grain of salt. He also had James Wilkes on, I think, less than a month ago, talking about all the claims that he made in his documentary, The Game Changers, on Netflix. And I even actually had another phony nutritionist on there named Chris Kresser, who basically came on Joe Rogan's podcast and said he debunked the film, the documentary, The Game Changers. So they had the producer James Wilkes come on and Chris Kresser come on, and Chris Kresser got absolutely destroyed by James Wilkes, the producer, who's done over 3,100 hours of research and studies and can basically sit you down and tell you every little critique that you have about a plant-based diet and tell you why you're wrong about it. So I would take his post with a grain of salt, and Decrypt Media has just posted a little article here about Bitcoin and the meat-eating community within the Bitcoin community. I think this stemmed from the fact that Bitcoin was created and adopted by a lot of libertarians who really embrace the idea of financial sovereignty, individual financial sovereignty, and the fact that you can send Bitcoin from any country with no borders. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to that, not just to libertarians, but to anybody in society. Even to a libertarian socialist or anyone on the left. Really, it's people want freedom, right? So Bitcoin and meat. So the relevance is that there's a kind of metaphysical parallel between decentralized digital letters and an imagined idea of what our ancestors ate, and by extension, how they lived. So this is from the Decrypt Media. The 20th century was disastrous for human health and wealth, and the rise of central bank and industrial food was clearly a major reason why. This is from Michael Goldstein, the founder of Satoshi Nakamoto Institute, what he told Vice Media. Bitcoin is a revolt against fiat money, and an all-meat diet is a revolt against fiat food. So, I don't know. This is a little bit of a stretch of a comparison, I think, here. But anyways, another Bitcoin carnivore professor of economics at the Lebanese American University said, the people who tell you that to eat 6 to 10 portions of indigestible toxin grains a day for a healthy and balanced diet are the same people that tell you your central banks have to determine interest rates for a modern economy to function. You can choose to listen to them and watch your wealth and health disappear, or you can think for yourself. Okay, so obviously a little of an extremist view there that a full meat diet. I guess if you want to compare it to a very grainy diet, sure, maybe there might be some instances where a meat diet is healthier. I'm not sure. But to say that either or are more superior than a plant-based diet is just to go against science and academics, really. But anyways, this article goes on. Members of the Bitcoin community regularly meet up to eat meat and talk Bitcoin. Jimmy Song is one of the highest profile members. With news of Rogan's endorsement, Bitcoiners have taken to Twitter to ask him if he'd invite Bitcoin carnivores onto his show to spread the good gospel. So, if you're generally interested in the peer-reviewed science behind high animal fat diets, nutritionfacts.org, a not-for-profit website that only publishes peer-reviewed medical journals, has a useful explainer. But Decrypt Media also has a little too long don't read message here, and it says it's a stupid idea, which I'm glad that they already looked into that for their own readers here, not to confuse them or plant an idea in their head that an all-meat diet would in any way sort be healthy for the average human being. So, interesting article. There are a lot of... Charlie Shrem is another guy who's in this industry, a crypto OG, a Bitcoin OG, that is all about eating meat. I'm really not sure why. It's just something to do with the right wing and the libertarian and eating meat, guns, Christianity, and religion. I don't know. There's just some sort of parallels on the right there that they all kind of fall in line here. But I would say take Joe Rogan's post here about an all-meat diet and the benefits that he had over a month's time, even though he had a diarrhea in the first 2 weeks, chronic diarrhea. I would say stick to your plant-based diet as much as possible. And I'm sure as the Bitcoin community develops, we'll see a lot more Bitcoin vegans out there. Tune in next time.